to winning isn't easy. I want to talk about predicting long-term disability in MS with the use of MRI biomarkers and the two implications of biomarkers in your ERISA disability claim. Now, you may have purchased a disability policy or plan, never thinking that you would have to apply for disability benefits as a result of MS. As we know, MRIs are common studies that are used in the workup of MS. And the MRI images of the brain and the spinal cord will show the damage to the myelin. They're known as white matter lesions. The presence of the white matter lesions on the MRI in certain parts of the brain or the spinal cord can confirm the MS diagnosis. And I will tell you that disability carriers are looking for that in your medical records to confirm the basis of the diagnosis. Interestingly, the number and location of lesions can also be predictive of disability. There was a recent study called Predictors of Long-Term Disability in Multiple Sclerosis Patients using routine magnetic resonance data, a 15-year retrospective study. It was published in the Neuroradiology Journal, and it confirms that there are two MRI biomarkers that are significantly linked to worsening long-term disability. They are called ICD, intercaudate diameter, and TVW, the third ventricular width. These measurements can predict the course of the disease and the response to the treatment. These early MRI biomarkers were linked in this study to worsening disability over a 10-year period of time. So as I looked at this, I was thinking, well, what are the implications of these biomarkers in an ERISA disability claim? And I think that there are two implications. Now, many disability policies or plans have a pre-existing condition clause that will provide that if a person files a claim for disability benefits within a certain period of time after they've enrolled in a disability policy, the claim can be denied if they were diagnosed or treated for that disabling medical condition. So let's say you have changed jobs, you've enrolled in a disability plan or policy, and you are now diagnosed with MS. If you got treatment during what's called the look-back period, before you actually became covered, your claim is going to be denied. So before you change jobs, if you are having symptoms of MS or have been diagnosed with MS, you may not want to change jobs simply because if you change jobs and get a new job with a new policy, there's going to be a look-back period. And the carrier can deny your claim based on the fact that you were diagnosed or had symptoms of or gotten treatment for the MS during this look-back period. So you may have to stay with your employer. You may have to see whether or not you can convert that policy. The conversion is not going to be cheap, but you won't be able to find a disability insurance policy that's going to cover you. Now, again, if you want to enroll in your new employer's disability plan, you need to understand what the look-back period of time is so you're not getting treatment for that. That can be impossible, and again, just another reason why you may not want to change jobs. The second implication, in my view, is something called working while disabled. As your disease progresses, as documented by the MRIs and the medical records, you have to decide when to stop work and apply for benefits. I've found that picking the wrong date can be a disaster if your records don't document the progression of your symptoms and why you can't do your occupational duties. Now, that can be a problem if you're working and you're trying to hide your medical condition. If you get terminated, you're going to lose your coverage as of the date of your termination, generally, though sometimes it can be like at the end of the month. But if you lose your coverage and you've been working while you are disabled and not losing time from work or wages, you may not have a disability insurance claim at all. Now, if you have that situation, it can be really hard to get your doctor to say, hey, you're actually working while you're disabled. But even if you do, there's a policy term in that plan or policy that may make that impossible to get your benefits. Sometimes the policy or plan will say, look, if you're working and you're earning 80% less than what you were making at the time you became disabled, called pre-disability earnings, then you're eligible for the benefits. But if you didn't lose any money and you're still working while you're disabled, too bad, so sad. So you can see that that can be problematic. My recommendation is that as the MRIs document progression or you're having increased symptoms, you should be consulting with an experienced ERISA disability attorney such as myself, because we're going to be looking at your policy or plan. We're going to review your medical records, and we're going to help you determine what date to stop work and file your ERISA disability claim so that neither of these situations occur. You terminate your employment, find a new job, and you file a claim for disability benefits only to have it denied under the pre-existing clause, or you're working, you're disabled, and you get terminated and you have no disability claim because you didn't have the applicable lost wages. This is something that you need to take seriously because we see this in our MS claims. We don't want your claim to be denied because you weren't prepared and addressed these issues before either your employer made the decision to terminate your benefits or you decided to change jobs without understanding the implication. Got it? Let's take a break.
Professional with questions about your individual disability policy? You need the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. This book gives you a comprehensive understanding of your disability policy, with tips and to-dos that will assist you in submitting a winning disability application. This is one you don't want to miss. For the next 24 hours, we're giving away free copies of the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. Order yours today at disabilityclaimsforprofessionals.com.